that's where we have rational conscious thought. The subconscious mind, and we'll get into this as well, this is where most of our creative stuff happens. And we'll play with this in a little bit. Process is a prominent value system, but the subconscious has no value system. It doesn't override conscious thought. Makes decisions and selects destinations. So I think I'm going to go to lunch. Where should I go to lunch? So, and when we get down to here, I want you to see how this works. Now, the reason why I'm kind of going over this sort of the mechanics of it, because when we go back into here, it's good to know why this happens so that you can do something about it. Because as it is, I mean, therapists have been trying for years and years, since Freud, essentially, 100 years ago, and Carl Jung, essentially, they've been trying, what can we do to help us out? We struggle with that, and then we just find ourselves just going, okay, I'm depressed, give me some drugs. And if we can fix it through ways that seem to work, if we can be happy in ways that work without, using our subconscious, instead of ways that take us down the other way, we've won the game. And so this is kind of important that we go through this understanding of how the two different parts work together. Now, going down, it says, processes 40 bits of environmental stimuli per second. Now, that I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. 40 bits of environmental stimuli. We said when we were focusing on mindfulness, we said you can only focus on how many things at a time? Only one thing, right? But you're still, like if you, like looking up here and you take it in consciously, you're still taking in stuff, right? You're taking in all kinds of stuff. And they say per second about 40 different things that you can take in simultaneously, even though you can only directly focus on one thing. Well, it says the subconscious mind processes about 40 million bits of stimuli per second. What might that include? I mean, we talked about the physiology and what else might be happening. What else might that include? If it's processing 40 million bits of information, what? Memory. All of the, in fact, one thing that we know is here, I don't know if it's on here, every single event that you have ever experienced is stored in there, the memory of it. Every single one from the moment your awareness began. So like, for example, if they hypnotized you, if somebody hypnotized you and took you back to your 5th grade, your 5-year-old birthday, you would be able to remember who came to your party. You'd be able to remember what you had to eat, what kind of cake you had, kind of ice cream. You'd be able to remember the flowers that were out on the patio or on the flower pot at your house. All of that's still stored in there. I know some of us are going, man, I can't remember squat when I try to remember things. Yeah, there is that. Who was it who mentioned dissociation? Was that you? We do kind of dissociate from a lot of that memory on purpose, because if that were always, can you imagine how insane you'd go if you had all of those memories always there? I mean, you've had billions of life experiences. If they're always there at the front of your mind, I would just go insane, right? Can you imagine that? They're not. So there is that. What Shireen said is, it's stored and it's kind of safely locked away, but it's still in there.
So I'm just thinking, when something triggers your memory, like sound or smell or something.
Especially smell. I mean, smell is really powerful.
So when something triggers your memory, like, help me visualize that. I'm trying to, Like, I know that that's associated, but I'm just not visualizing it.
So here's an event. Here's an event that happens. And it hits the conscious mind. It kind of, this is how I would picture that. An event hits the conscious mind, or it may not. You know, you might just smell it, but not really realize you're smelling that loaf of bread. But it immediately, there's a memory over here, and it brings it back, and then it pulls it back to the conscious mind. The memory of it, I mean, it's a simple process. Like this. I mean, I don't know how it's working in here, but that's how I visualize what you just said.